everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hostplus Sustained Performer. Each week we delve into what makes a team or a player a proven sustained performer week in, week out. Mitch Cleary joins me, and Mitch, you are up and about. I can feel it because Gaz is returning to the Cats side, and today we're taking on the big debate: who is better, Ablett Senior or Ablett Junior?
It could be the hardest question of them all, Nat. And you've got one player who's the best player in his generation, one player who's the most spectacular in his generation. Let's see who's better.
All right, let's take a look first at their CVs. And it's an absolute dream to read when you look at these accolades. I mean, look at that. 8 All-Australians for Gaz, essentially 8 All-Australians for Gaz Senior. Who is your pick, though? When you look at this on paper, what are you thinking?
I'm going to the schoolyard and I'm putting them up against the fence.
Yep.
And I'm taking Ablett Senior. He was spectacular and his X factor was off the charts. No other player could do or has been able to do what he can do. And we all get excited now about Dustin Martin and Jordan McGoey.
Yep.
They have their flashes of brilliance. This guy was doing it every week, Nat. And you look at some of his marks. We talk about mark of the century.
Was it actually a mark, though? He's dropped mark of the century. Come on, be real.
He's done all of that. He's won a Norm Smith in a losing side. Only 4 players in history have been able to do that. This guy was off the charts. And when it comes to turning matches, Ablett Junior, he's had his games where he's done it here and there, but Ablett Senior could do it better than anyone, and that's why I'm taking him in this debate.
Oh, I like it. Look, you make some really good points. For me, though, Gaz Jr., it's all about the Brownlow. If we look here, 2009, 2013, one with the Cats, one with the Gold Coast Suns, but he played in an era with Pendles, Judd, Swan, even Lenny Hayes and Simon Black were still going around at that point. He's played with some of the best midfielders in the modern game, and he's won 2 Brownlow medals. That can't be discounted. He also finished in the top 10 for an 8-year period from 2007 to 2014. And if you look at the history books, who is the player in history who has recorded the most Brownlow votes? Gary Ablett, 261 if you don't mind.
I thought you'd go here with the Brownlow medal because it's a midfielder's award. He was a midfielder. Ablett Senior was doing other things. Look at his Coleman medals. He was doing that with Plugger Lockett, Jason Dunstall in his era. He still won 3 of them. And we spoke about that Norm Smith, 9 goals in a single grand final. He came in at 22, Ablett Senior, and he was still going at the cherry ripe age of 35, 36. I know Ablett Junior comes in this week at 36 years of age, but he kicked 122 goals as a 33-year-old. That's more than 5.5 a game he was able to do. And just the way he was able to hold that team. You talk about Ablett Junior, and I'm sure you're going to get to the premierships.
You know my next point.
Ablett Senior took this side to 4 grand finals. And I know they didn't win one, but if you could argue that if he wasn't in that side, they wouldn't have made any of them.
Well, I reckon that's the beauty of Gaz Jr. because it's not all about him. He's a team player. I reckon he makes others better around him. His footy IQ is incredible. It's off the charts. But he has 2 premierships, maybe a 3rd to come, which I think might even push him further over the edge ahead of his dad. I mean, he's just an incredible player. 36, as you say. Hasn't played since round 7. And Chris Scott's like, nah, no worries. You can come straight back into the side. And they genuinely think he's a good chance to help them win a flag. That's how good Gary Ablett is. The longevity over 19 seasons, I reckon Junior's got it.
I'll give you that, but the team made him what he is because he's got those guys around him. He walks out in 2010, Geelong go out in a preliminary final. He leaves in 2011. They win the flag without Gary Ablett Jr. If he wins the 3rd this year, you may just have me, but let's see how we pan out for the rest of this season.
It certainly is an interesting debate that we'll continue to have for a long time yet. If you want to join in the conversation, you can do so on the AFL social channels. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week with another episode of the Sustained Performer. Thanks to Hostplus. We go with you.